viewers, welcome to another exciting episode on Nebo TV. My name is Akbaje Onome. Thanks to all Nebo TV subscribers and supporters, and for those who haven't subscribed to this wonderful channel, please don't forget to click on the subscription button and notification bell to get updates from Nebo TV. Alright, today on Nebo TV we're going to be talking about a military head of state in Nigeria in the year 1975, the person of General Murtala Mohammed, who is a Nigerian army general, who was the fourth head of state in Nigeria in 1975 until his assassination in 1976. So let's go briefly into his early life before we go further. Stay tuned.
Murtala Mohammed was born on November 8, 1938 in Kano to a Fulani ruling class family. His father, Mohammed Rizkuwa, was from the Genawa clan, who had a history of Islamic jurisprudence, as both his grandfather and great-grandfather held the title of Chief Alkali of Kano. His father was related to Aminu Kano, Inuwa Wada, and Aminu Wali. His mother, Uwani Rahamatu, was from Jobawa clan, whose members included the Makama of Kano and Abdullahi Aliyu Somalia. Mohammed was educated at Sikin Gida Elementary School, which was within the grounds of the Emir's Palace. He then transferred to Gida Makama Primary School in Kano, which was just outside the palace. He then proceeded to Kano Middle School in 1949 before attending the famous government college in Zaria, where he obtained his school certificate in 1957. At Barawa College, Mohammed was a member of the Cadet Corps and was captain of shooting in his final year. In 1957, he obtained a school leaving certificate and applied to join the Nigerian Army later in the year.
Murtala Mohammed joined the Nigerian Army in 1958. He received a short stint training in Ghana and Nigeria, and there he was trained as an officer cadet in Sandhurst Royal Military Academy in England. Stay tuned.
After his training, he was commissioned as second lieutenant in 1961 and assigned to the Nigerian Army Signals that same year, and later spent a short stint with the No. 3 Brigade Signals Troop in Congo. In 1962, Mohammed was appointed aide-de-camp to M.A. Majeko Dumi, the federally appointed administrator of the Western region. In 1963, he became the officer in charge of the 1st Brigade Signal Troop in Kaduna, Nigeria. That year, he traveled to the Royal Corps of Signals at Catterick Garrison, England, for a course on advanced telecommunications technique. On his return to Nigeria in 1964, he was promoted to Major and appointed officer commanding 1st Signal Squadron in Apapa, Lagos. In November 1965, he was made acting chief of signals of the army, while his paternal uncle Inuwa Wada had recently been appointed defense minister.
In 1966, Murtala Mohammed opposed the regime of Agui Ironsin, who took position after the military coup in January 15, 1966. Stay tuned for more details.
Murtala Mohammed holds strong view which he puts forward in a forthright manner. He is a strong character and determined person. However, he finds it difficult to moderate his opinions and finds it difficult to enter into debate with others whose views he may not share. After the war, he was promoted to Brigadier General in October 1971. Between 1971 and 1974, Mohammed was involved in routine activities within the signals unit of the army. However, he also disagreed with some of the policies being pursued by Yakubu Gowon. On August 7, 1974, the head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, appointed him as the new Federal Commissioner for Communications, which he combined with his military duties as Inspector of Signals at the Army Signals Headquarters in Apapa, Lagos. His position as the Commissioner of Communications was to oversee and facilitate the nation's development of cost-effective communication infrastructures during the oil boom.
The counter-coup of July 1966 led to the installation of Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon, who became the Supreme Commander of Nigerian Armed Forces, despite the intransigence of Murtala Mohammed, who wanted the position of Supreme Commander for himself. During the start of the Nigerian Civil War, Murtala Mohammed was the commander of the newly established 2nd Infantry Division, a division with the responsibility to beat back the Biafran army in the Midwest region. Stay tuned.
The 2 Division was responsible for the beating back of the Biafran army from the Midwest region, as well as crossing the River Niger and linking up with the Division 1, which was advancing from Nsukka and Enugu. However, this was only achieved after several failed river crossings, in which thousands of troops died as a result of drowning or enemy fire. During his time as commander, Mohammed was implicated in several violations of appropriate conduct. Lieutenant Ishola Williams, an officer who served under Mohammed, alleged that he ordered the summary execution of Biafran prisoners of war. In 1968, he relinquished his commanding position and was posted to Lagos and appointed Inspector of Signals. In April 1968, he was promoted to colonel.
Between 1970 to 1971, he attended a service staff college in England. His supervisory report attributed him to having an agile mind, considerable ability, and common sense. On July 29, 1975, Yakubu Gowon was overthrown as the military head of state in Nigeria while attending the 12th summit of the Organization of African Union, OAU. Murtala Mohammed became the new head of state in Nigeria as at that time. Stay tuned.
As head of state, Murtala Mohammed inherited an immense amount of oil and petroleum resources and enormous but untapped natural gas reserves. But in 1975, Murtala Mohammed saw reduced revenue due to low levels of petroleum production. This meant that the military government lacked the projected funds to meet Nigeria's development plan for 1975. The decline in petroleum production in 1975 was due to a global fall in demand, high cost of spare parts, and high labor cost.
Alright viewers, let's take a look at the consolidation, charismatic authority, demobilization and reorganization of 100,000 armed forces during his regime between 1975 and 1976. So stay tuned.
Mohammed took federal control of the country's 2 largest newspapers, Daily Times and New Nigeria. All media in Nigeria was then under federal control. He also took federal control of the remaining state-run universities. With the coup d'etat that brought him to power, he introduced the phrases fellow Nigerians and with immediate effect to the national lexicon. In a short time, Murtala Mohammed's policies won him broad popular support, and his decisiveness elevated him to the status of a folk hero. After the war and after he took power as head of state, Mohammed started the reorganization and mobilization of 100,000 troops from the armed forces. The number of troops in the armed forces decreased from 250,000 to 150,000.
Alright, aside his military work, Murtala Mohammed also contributed to national development, foreign policy, creation of states in Nigeria. Having talked about Murtala Mohammed as the head of state in Nigeria between 1975 and 1976, now we're going to look at his tragic death and funeral, so stay tuned.
Murtala Mohammed was killed at age 37 along with his aide-de-camp Lieutenant Akintunde Akinshunwa in his black Mercedes-Benz saloon car on 13 February 1976. The car was ambushed en route to his office at Dodan Barracks, Lagos. The only visible sign of protection was a pistol carried by his orderly, making his assassination an easy task. The assassination was part of an attempted coup led by Lieutenant Colonel Bukasuka Dimka. He was succeeded by Chief of Staff Supreme Headquarter Olusegun Obasanjo, who completed his plan of an orderly transfer to civilian rule by handing over to Shehu Shagari on 1st October 1979. Today, Murtala Mohammed's portrait adorns the 20 naira notes, and Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos is named after his honor.
Okay viewers, we've come to the end of today's episode on Nebo TV on the history of Murtala Mohammed, who was the head of state between 1975 and 1976. So, see you next time, same channel, Nebo TV. Subscribe. God bless you and God bless Nigeria.